back from that break. If you've just joined us, the show is Good Morning Abuja, and we are here to bring to you interesting conversations that will set your mood for the day. Now, we all know that there is a need for every person to be self-reliant. But how do you go about doing that? We have in the studio Vera Aimufwa, who will tell us all we need to know about being reliant. She is a motivational speaker here in the studio. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Vera Aimufwa.
Okay.
And I'm happy to be here once again. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So let's move into the topic for the day: self-reliance. What does it mean for someone to be self-reliant?
Okay. Without overflogging that phrase as a definition, I would just want to say that being self-reliance is that ability to be independent, to do things for yourself, to be able to depend on yourself. You know, considering the kind of society that we are in these days, so many people have different needs. You know, even the so-called big man has his own needs. So you can imagine running to somebody you call a big man to help you when he himself needs help. You know, so I think the best way out of this situation is to be able to do things for yourself, to be able to help yourself out, and in order for you to do that, there are certain things you need to learn to do even at this time.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So being self-reliant is you being able to help yourself out.
Exactly.
At difficult times.
Not depending on other
anyone.
people.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, but how can one become self-reliant? Because if you look at it, even though in universities and schools now they're beginning to teach a lot of things aside the normal school curriculum.
Yes.
How does one go about developing himself?
Okay, I'm going to be talking to you from my personal experiences, and I'm going to be giving a lot of advice to parents too, because the parents should always remember that they cannot always be there, you know, for the children. So the earlier you start teaching your children, your kids how to depend on themselves, the better.
Yes.
Now, in the universities these days, of course, like you rightly pointed out, they've gone out of the usual school curriculum to teach these children how to do things on their own, how to make their own money, how to be entrepreneurs. Because that is the reality of the time. That is the reality of the time.
Definitely.
When I was in the university, I actually had no one to sponsor me, you know. So I learned early enough that for me to achieve my dreams, I need to start doing things on my own. So you'll be shocked to know that when I was in university, I cook rice, put them inside a cooler, then go about selling them. Yes, I make moi, you know, put them in a cooler. When I go to school, I have people that will just sell for me when I come out, I get the money. So, and that was how it started. You know, so from early in life, I personally got to know that I need to do things on my own. I don't have to rely on anybody, and it has really helped me even now.
Well, I must salute your courage, because being in school and doing any other thing is just being in school itself is stressful. It's a lot of work
on its own. Yes.
So I must commend your courage.
Thank you.
Doggedness.
Yes, thank you.
All right. So how did it all start for you? Like, okay, how did you get the idea that, okay, I can do this, I can cook rice, I can cook moi, I can augment and also foot my bills myself? How did that inspiration, or what pushed you?
Okay, you see, just like I said, it also boils down on maybe how we're brought up. You know, some parents really want to spoon feed their children, give them everything. Well, you're not helping your children when you do that, because like I said earlier, a time will come when you are not there, and such children will not be able to fend for themselves. They won't be able to stand on their own. These are the people that are now end up becoming miscreants. You know, well, very early in life, coming from a very, very poor background myself, very, very, when I say poor background, I really mean poor, because my parents were there in the village, grew up with, you know, some relatives, and of course, I don't blame them because they all have their own business to also mind. And well, and I had this dream, because I just know that no matter what, I just have to be somebody in life. So, and I wasn't ready to allow my situation then pull me down. So as a result, I just told myself I'll do all it takes to achieve my dream. And I saw that by the time I got to school, that there was this need, you know, a lot of people, students are there, you know, some can't even cook and all that. So I just feel that, oh, what if I provide that service for them and get paid in return? And that was what I did. So I started. I even then, when I go out, I buy these earrings, chains, and all that, sell to my fellow students, cook this food and all that. And before long, people got to know me, and they will always call on me. And before you know it, I was able to go through school, almost without sponsorship.
Okay. Yes. So now, because you talked about parenting, you mentioned parenting when we were talking, I would like to also bring this conversation around parenting. These days, we tend to shield our children so much. Yes. We tend to spoon feed them. Exactly. With everything, we spoil them practically. Yes. I read somewhere that these days we're raising a generation of weak kids, that we do everything for them, and that didn't happen to us that way. Like, we had to stand up for ourselves. At sometimes we had to foot bills ourselves, you know. So what can we do so that we change this narrative, so that we don't raise a whole generation of people that can't really do anything for themselves, talk more of being self-reliant?
Wow, that's a very good question. The truth is that, just like you earlier pointed out, even the schools are trying to bring in things that are outside the usual school curriculum, formal curriculum. The parents should be able to take a cue from that and be able to encourage their children to do things for themselves. For instance, as myself, as I'm here now, I have a son who is 16 years old now. Okay. Whenever they are on holidays, I enroll him in a tailoring shop to learn sewing. Well, even if eventually in life he doesn't go into tailoring, but at least he will have an idea what it means to be a tailor. He'll be able to design his own clothes. At least the monies he would have used to go sew clothes outside, he could save that, you know. Yeah, and I encourage my children generally, I mean, to try to think outside the box. You don't just rely on education alone. You do other things, you know, save money, invest in things, make money. You know, I start encourage them even this early, and I expect other parents to do that, considering the kind of economy and the society we are in now. So you'll be doing your children a whole world of good if you try to put them in the right path now, so that at the end of the day they will not regret, and you yourself will not regret.
Definitely. So for someone who says, oh, okay, I'd like to be self-reliant, but I don't know what to do, how can one know what to be self-reliant in? Like, okay, for you learned early in life that, okay, you can cook and sell, you can resell clothes to fellow students, but these days, you know, you have to think of something you love to do. Probably I'm watching and a young person is watching, and the person is like, oh, but you know, I love to do this and I love to do this other thing. How can I make a choice?
Okay, good. It has to start with having a dream. You know, if you have a dream already, if you know what you want to do, of course, all of us have this dream. We're all free to dream. So you dream, you know what you want to do, and your capabilities. You know what the resources you have is what we usually determine what you would do. Like using my example again, when I was in school, I didn't have much, but I know that at least with the little resources I had, I could start from there, and I was able to cook some noodles of rice and then sell, and then made profit from it, and then cook more, then diverted into other things. So I think it's the same thing with anyone who is willing to be self-reliant, you start from the resources you have, and then you progress from there. Yes.
Okay. Word of advice for upcoming entrepreneurs or upcoming people that want to be self-reliant?
Yes. Well, the advice I have for upcoming entrepreneurs or those that want to be self-reliant is that first of all, you have a dream, and don't allow anything kill your dream. Don't allow the situation kill your dream. Move up, step up, be determined, be focused. Use the little resources you have to attain what you want to achieve. Be dogged. Never say no. You understand? It's not over until you win. So just move on. And I assure you, you will achieve what you've set out to achieve.
Thank you so much, Vera Aimufa, for coming on the program. We really enjoyed your thoughts and your words for us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, viewer, we've had it all from her, Vera Aimufa, who is a motivational speaker, and she has told us all we need to do to be self-reliant. Good Morning Abuja continues shortly after this time out. Do stay with us.